Dr. Patricia Dixon studied polygynous families, and she wrote a book called We Want for Our Sisters What We Want for Ourselves. And this is what her publisher's description says. Polygyny, the practice of having multiple wives, has existed since ancient times and is still practiced in many countries throughout the world. In this book, Dr. Patricia Dixon argues that the practice is one the African American community should adopt as well. According to Dixon, the concept of monogamy was spread by Christianity, and she's talking about Roman Christianity, and created an unrealistic and romanticized notion of marriage that leaves many women, especially African American women, unfulfilled and unsupported. She offers many reasons to support polygyny, most importantly, the shortage of available African American men. Through extensive interviews, she offers an insider's look at polygynous marriages, showing readers its benefits and disadvantages, interpersonal dynamics, how financial, sexual, and parental responsibilities are determined, and the legal, moral, and cultural challenges that must be overcome in order to make polygynous marriage possible within American society.
10 years ago, University of Georgia professor Patricia Dixon thought polygamy exploited women. Then she embarked on a study of it.
I mean, I was transformed by the experience.
She spent years living with different polygamous communities, some in the U.S. and some overseas. She was surprised to find it wasn't about men exploiting women.
We think of a man with several wives as a good deal for the man, but you say this is more about the women.
Right. It's female-centered. The women are the ones who are benefiting when they're in a situation.
Well, I would think people would say it's about the men getting more sex with more women.
Not necessarily. It's not about another notch on your belt or anything like that. It really is the women who really promote this idea.
Often, she says, because there's a shortage of men.
But there's no big shortage of males in America.
Oh, yeah, it is, particularly for the African-American community.
Because, she says, of the higher incarceration and murder rates in that community.
Everybody's talking about one man, one woman. Where are they going to come from?
Shalamia is Prince's second wife. When Prince approached his first wife about taking a second wife, she was upset.
I cried, I prayed, I still didn't understand it, but I gave it a chance. I said, I'll give it a chance.
It's not above.
She invited Shalamia into their home, and a relationship developed.
Just got to be friends.
Now, after 30 years, she can't imagine life without her.
I'm older, but she's more like the mother wife. You know, she's the mother sister. She looks out for everything. Johanna, do you have your gloves? Do you have your scarf?
Shalamia cooks breakfast while Johanna sleeps in. Johanna cooks dinner most every night.
Religious leaders say polygamy is immoral.
If they're saying that that's immoral, they're calling the greatest heroes in the Bible they believe in, they're calling them immoral. They're saying that Abraham with his 3 wives was immoral. Jacob had 4 wives. David had 7 known-named wives before Bathsheba.
Right now, I'm trying to get my best girlfriend to marry him. Come on aboard.
The woman of Revelation 17, that is the mother of whores, is what's called today the Mother Church, the Roman Catholic Church. It's the mother of whores because of all these false belief systems that were promoted and pushed and that came out of the mother whore. That's why if you read on doctrineofdiscovery.org, it will tell you that Papal Bull Dum Diversus was issued on the 18th of June 1452 by Pope Nicholas V, a Roman Catholic Pope, and it authorized Alfonso V of Portugal to reduce any Muslims and pagans and any other unbelievers to perpetual slavery. And when they say any unbelievers, that means anybody that's not a Roman Catholic. In Daniel chapter 7, and if you read the whole chapter, it will explain more about how the 4th kingdom on the earth, before the Messiah returns and takes over, is going to be the Roman beast, the Roman Empire. So that's what we're under now. That's who put us into captivity. And that's whose doctrine people in the West believe for the most part. Olaura Equiano, who was a victim of the transatlantic slave trade, who lived in West Africa. Now keep in mind that Olaura was a Hebrew. In fact, he said that his customs of his people and the laws of his people were the same as the Torah. When he read the Torah, he said this is the same thing, and it makes him believe that he comes from those same people. When speaking about marriage, he said, men, however, do not preserve the same constancy to their wives which they expect from them, for they indulge in a plurality, though seldom in more than two, meaning the men indulge in having more than one wife, but seldom more than two.
So I'm someone that really cares about the Black community. Been working for my community for a long time now. And one of the things that I have come to the conclusion of, as controversial as it is that in order for every Black woman in America to have a Black husband, the Black community has to pick up polygyny. Doesn't have to be everybody right now, but the truth is the truth. We greatly outnumber our men. They're taking our men by the thousands. And aside from our feelings about it, if we really get to the bottom of it, polygyny will benefit the Black community. That's why I bring it up, besides the fact that it's my favorite type of relationship. And I really need sisters to stop getting so defensive about it and just think about it. Ponder this truth. And even ask yourself, why does it make you feel so angry for someone to even bring up the idea?
For some people who haven't been raised in this particular lifestyle or haven't embraced it, it's hard to understand, no, I wouldn't want anyone to have my man. Okay, fine. In the Western world, look, you don't have multiple marriages, but you have multiple divorces. Look how many people get married and get divorced, like 4 times, even twice.
If you really, really, really understood your job to take care of a man, you wouldn't have any other life for yourself, because they are a 24-hour, 8-day-a-week project. So having a sister wife to share that with is a joy. I don't want to wait on a man hand and foot. I want some help. I don't even want the sister wife for him. I want the sister wife for me.
What's going on? What's going on, y'all? You know, hey, you see the unit in the kitchen. I got my wives working together right here. I got my wife Ruth right here helping the children. Say hey. I got Zion. Say what's up, Zion. What's up? I got my wife Sarah. Say hey, Sarah. Hey, what Bathsheba? My wife Bathsheba. Hello. What about Suzanne? Hey, say hey. Hello. And he go my newly wife right there. Hey, Don. Don, say hello. Hello. There go my wife Don right there. Hey, there go my big girl Grace. Say hey, Grace. We getting it ready for the children. We about to feed the children. Say what's up, Isaac. That's my boy Isaac. That's Obed. Say hey, hey. There go Samson. Say what's up. Look at Samson. There go my girl Rachel. Say hey. There go my girl Becca. Say hey, Becca. That's my baby. There go my big girl. She been out there playing, so she's sweating. That's Miriam. Then we even got my baby girl Leah right there. Say hey, baby girl. So look, just showing you, we can work in unity. These women ain't in no competition, man. We building a legacy, man. All praise to the Most High.
Of course, when you come to the way, you learn, the right way, and you have to change. One thing that I'm not understanding about this question is, especially the way people are acting and behaving over it, is that, everyone says that they love the Father. They love Yahweh so much. They want to live for Yahweh. Whatever Yahweh tell them to do, that they're going to do it. But then when they hear the topic of polygyny, that is biblical, and that a man can have multiple wives, suddenly they ain't willing to do that. I don't know how many sisters told me, in front of me or to me or whatever, I ain't having polygyny. I ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. I don't care if it's in the Bible or not. What? You just said you're biblical. You're going to live biblical. You're telling me that you don't care if it's in the Bible or not. So how biblical are you? You daughters of Zion may not know, or you other sisters may not know sometimes, is, with polygyny, it's one of those areas, because we were not taught and raised polygynous, and because we've already been taught to fear, be jealous, be envious, compare ourselves and things like that. Now that polygyny is brought forth, a lot of us, we are still fearful. We know that we still have these things going on inside of us, these emotions and things that, that we don't know how to handle. So we get kind of fearful. We get secluded, but for me, one of the parts when I started accepting and learning that polygyny was correct, that it was biblical, that it was still marriage, that Yah did not call it sin, that in fact a lot of the patriarchs were polygynous men. Like, once I got that full understanding, once I really got it, I desired, okay, whatever Yah has for my family, that's what I'm going to do. And if it was polygyny, then I was going to do it, and I was going to do it well. I've already put myself in position to, and let it be known, I want to be the best sister wife possible. I want to put my all into this. Once I got that clear understanding, I started to lose that feeling of where you feel uncomfortable. I started to have less and less fears. When I started to do my role, and the more and more and more I started to do more of my role and get an understanding and do better and just strive for better, I started to have less fear of another woman coming in, and it became more of one of those things like, that's my sister out there, that's someone that I love, that's someone that I want to have something more than what us women have had.